Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. Today I'm going to be doing pack 8 of the Agora models release of Build the Orca from Jaws. Now my cagey understanding of this pack today is that we're going to be building the stand and the cage. Do you like what I did there? As you can see, we have got 2 packs here. So this isn't going to take too long, I don't think. But there is something about the stand that we're going to need to look at. But because there's only a couple of things that really we're doing here today, I've sort of extended this video to show you what sort of mods there are available for this model at the time of doing this video. So stay tuned to the second half of this video where I have been sent some mods from Mike Lane and also Partwork Upgrades. I'm going to show you through them as well. Now if you want to get the Orca, you can get this for Agora models. I have put a link in the video description and we do have the QR code on the screen. But without further ado, let's get cracking. I mean, look, they're big old pieces in today's build, that's for sure. So let's get these open. And the first thing we want are these parts for the display stand here. As a matter of fact, let's just take out everything that doesn't look like a shark cage here. So I'm going to take out these parts here, the screws, and also this circuit board. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to be taking this bracket side here, and we're going to be putting this into the center base. Now looking at the base, it's symmetrical all the way around. This is just going to be fitting in there like that. So we've got 2 kinds of screws in this pack. We've got these ones here. Let me just open them and I can read what it says on the packet. These are just your normal ones, and these are the PWB D4. And then we've got the flange screws here, which I'm guessing are going to be the D6. And we need to put 4 of these in place. So basically they're going to go into the sides here, just like this, to hold this in. So obviously we've got holes on every side of this. This one here will be the tricky one because you've got to negotiate this lip here. Now you can see why I'm using my normal screwdriver, because I need it to be quite thin to get that in there. Okay, that's in place. I'm then going to be taking this bracket. Difference between this one and this one, this has a place here for, I'm guessing, power. I don't know. This one's just plain. So this is the one that's going to be going on this side, just like that. And as you can see, we've got screw holes just on this side here. And these are the PWB D4 screws. And we're going to need 7 of these to hold this into place. So last screw just going in here. That's all 7 of those in place. And now we're going to need this side. And this side does have a number 4 on it, as you can see there. And just like last time, this is now going to be going in the other side here to make the stand. Just like that. Held in exactly the same way as we did before. So we've got the D6 screws, which are going to go in the 4 holes all the way around the outside here. And this is the last of that screw going in. Perfect. But slightly different this time, we have got the charging port that we're going to be putting in place. Now, that's going to be going on this side here, which is obviously going to be fitting on that at the moment. So we need to make sure we put this in the right way. It's going to go in this way, just over the lugs here. And I'm holding that in with the non-flanged screws. And we just need 2 of these. These are the D4 ones. And then we know we've got this in right because once I've got this one in, if we turn it round, you can see I've got the USB-C port just there. Nice. Now at the top here, this is what's actually going to be powering the Orca. So we've got this little contact here, which is going to be going underneath, and we need that to be able to come through the other side here. Now when you put this in, it is meant to sit at an angle in here, just like that. You can probably see. It's meant to sit at an angle, because when we put this part in, which is going to go in here, that's going to hold it at that angle that we've got there. Basically, it looks like it's at an angle, but where you see how it's lying, it's actually perfectly flat in there. It's this bit here that's at the angle. That's how that should be, like that. Once again, one of the non-flange screws to hold this into place. So that if you look at the close-up here, that is how that should look. Now this plug here is actually going to be going into where the USB-C power is going to go. Make sure I'm putting this in the right way. This way around. There you go. That's securely in place there. Making sure that I'm not going to pinch any wires now, because obviously we're going to be putting all of this together with this side, which is going to be going in here just like this. Held in again with the non-flange screws, and we need 7 of these. You know, as I'm putting the last ones here, it's actually 8 of these we're putting in, not 7. I can't count today. And that is perfect. And that there is all there is to do in that stage. So now we're going to be building the cage. Now, the cage has to go together. No matter what we do, the cage has to be built, because the way that the poles, the metal poles, go into the cage. You're going to see what I mean when I do that build. The trouble is, once it's together, it can't come apart. So at this present moment in time, if you want to take it apart to actually have it flat packed on the deck, we're going to have to get a saw to it. But you'll see what I mean when we actually put this together. So I want to kind of explain what I was talking about then, about how we have to build the cage. If these are the posts here, you see we've got holes for these metal rods to go in. We've got smaller ones for the top, larger ones for the bottom here. Now when we put these in, we need the base to be able to hold them into place. The trouble is, the base, as you can see here with the holes in, is one piece. So we can't separate it, because as soon as we take this off, they're going to fall out. And if we don't put the base on and we just have that clear here, we're going to have just pipes hanging down here, and they're going to move all around because there's no base on it. This is why we have to build the cage. Okay, so first parts we need are these ones here. Some have got the number 1 on, some have got the number 2 on. So I'm just sorting these out. Now when we put these together, the numbers need to face us, so they all need to be the same way round. So basically this section here, a number 1 is going to go against a number 2, and we are using glue for this. This is how this is held together, and I'll keep going all the way around here. Now I am using my cutting mat to ensure at the moment that these are square. But when they're all in place, just looking at how square that is, that's brilliant. That's how that should look. Now we have a sprue here which has got these tops on that look like this. We're going to get these off. So I've got my sprue cutters. I'm going to want to turn this the other way around and have it so that these notches here are at the top and the bottom for me. And I'm going to be putting these eyelets in here. So one's going to go in this side, and one's going to go into the opposite side down here. Now that's just put in without glue, just as a dry fit, but I wanted to give you an idea of how that's going to look. So I'll glue these in. Now on the sprue here, these are labelled number 2. We're going to cut these ones off, and these ones are going to go in the opposite corners. So once again, that's how that's looking, and that is that stage complete. Now we're going to start building the shark cage in the next stage, looking just like this. Now I believe these are identical. Looks like it. We've got rivets on this side, and we've got a flat side here. Now we've got 2 kinds of posts here. We've got these ones with holes in the end. We've got these ones which don't have holes in the end. So I want the ones with the holes in the end. They're basically going to be going into here with the holes facing upwards. So if the holes are up here, we want these to be up there. I'm going to be gluing these into place. And then I'm going to do exactly the same on the other side. So once again with this one, so just putting some glue on the end here. It's going to go in there. and just one on this side. Once we've got them into place, we're in a position now we can put the other side of this on. So it's a case of just putting glue on the tops. This is actually going to square this completely up and put this together. I'm just going to hold that into place for a second. This whole thing is then going to be going onto the base here, and this is what the base is looking like. Now we do have some little lugs here, so this is going to dictate what way round this goes. So once again, I'm going to put some glue just on the base posts, and I'll get this into place. There you go. That's looking good. Nice. And then we get to put the top on. So again, it's a case of putting glue on the posts. And it needs to be in the orientation that these eye holes need to be in the same direction as these. The holes need to be towards these posts here coming out. So when I put this on, it's going to be going in this way. Let's get these in. And there we go. There's the top on. Probably best on the side camera. Show you how this is looking. Excellent. And that is all there is to do in that stage. Now, before I make a mistake that I'm going to regret, just making sure that these are all round the right way. So on the top level here, all these holes need to be facing up. And on this bottom level here, all of these holes need to be facing down. Because what we're going to be doing is to put these posts in. These are going to go in through the top. And then they're going to be attaching to these points down the bottom just here. So I think what I'm going to do, when I put all of these in, is I'm actually just going to be dropping some glue on the end of the rod, just like that. And then what that's going to do is when I put this in, it's going to put some glue on that top section, and it's also going to put some glue on the bottom section like that to hold this in. Clever, isn't it? So I'm basically using the posts kind of like a glue stick. So one section on there, put it through the top, which puts some glue on there, and then the rest of the glue that's on this rod will secure it into the base just there. I'm going to repeat that all the way around. So can you see what I mean now about how you can't really take this apart now? Because once it's together, if you try and take it apart, it's going to completely and utterly fall to bits. I have to say though, the advantage of doing it this way is that it looks really impressive. Really impressive. So this is the last post going in here. And now I'm going to let that dry, but that's how that should look. Pretty cool. What I'm going to do then is do exactly the same technique, turning it around this way this time. And we're using the smaller ones and just doing this exactly the same way. And once again, when that's in, it's impressive, doesn't it? That's how that's looking. Nice. Okay, put that to one side. We'll let all of that dry. I've now got the floats for the top to put in, and we do have these caps which are going to go on the end. So what we need to do is slice off these from the sprue and make sure there's no flashing on the side. So we're looking for a nice clean cut in there. Now once these are cut off, these are going to go in the end, but you just want to make sure that there's no flashing along the edge here. We want to get this off. Let's use my scalpel for this. Otherwise it's not going to be sitting flat on there. Again, put some glue on this, just on the inner rim. And push these into place like that. And do that the same all the way around. Now these are going to attach to each side of the cage onto the posts here and here. So once again, put some glue just on these inner edges. Line up the holes. Push these into place. So one that side one that side. Excellent. We have got some string here. Let's get this open. And the way this is going to work is we're going to be taking one part of this string and tying this to this side here. Now, what I tend to do is just tie a simple knot, which will be just enough to hold that into place there. And I will trim that, and then what you do is get some glue and drop that on the knot so that can't undo. It just means you haven't got a really big knot there. We're going to be taking this bracket here, and I want to thread the cable or the rope through here, which is going to be a bit tricky. So what I suggest you do, you love this, you've seen this before, put some glue on the end like this, twist it in the direction that the fabric's going, and that's going to make that like a needle on the end now, so you'll easily be able to thread this through just like that. Do the same thing on this side, make a little knot, put some glue on the knot, that's going to stop that undoing. Perfect. Just do exactly the same thing on the other side. So as you can see, that's good. Put that down. All we need to do then is just put the top on by sliding it underneath here, and it's just going to be sitting on top just like that. And that is the completed shark cage. Nice. Okay. Now obviously we don't glue this top piece in here so we can get it out, so we can put people in there. Also, I like how we've got the bent bars on top here. It looks like it's had some use. Now, the way things are at the moment, this is all together, but to take this apart to flat pack it on the deck, it's going to be hard because you can't just cut the parts off here because they're all joined. You'd have to kind of cut the corners off, I'm guessing, of each side here and here to make 4 panels, and then have the top and the bottom as 2 panels that you could put together. And you'd probably have to take these off. As a matter of fact, I do believe that these are actually stored by the actual furnace on the deck. They're stored upright, so you'd have to break them off as well. Not quite sure what I'm going to do yet, but there you go. That is the shark cage complete. I thoroughly enjoyed that. That was quite therapeutic. Now, as promised at the beginning of the video, I'm going to show you some mods which are available now. Now, I must stress for transparency, all of these mods were sent to me for review, so you can see these for yourself, but I have put the links in there. We're going to start off with the rods from Mike Lane. Okay, the first mod that I'm going to be showing you is all to do with the transom here. Now, this is what I've already done with the transom. Obviously, we've got this little drain on here, and I got the brass letters on here, and I have weathered them up. But if you didn't want to do that, we've got a couple of things from Mike Lane first. And the first one is the transom veneer. And this looks pretty impressive. If I just open this up, this is basically going to be going over what we've created. It obviously comes in this pack here. It's kept dry with the silica gel. And what I'm going to have to do to install this, which I am going to install because I just love the look of this, is I've got to take these letters off. So let me just do that now. I didn't glue them in with that much glue, so these should be able to come off, as you see, no problems at all. At the same time, I'm just going to take out this little drain, which comes out pretty easy as well. And now I'm ready to put on this veneer. Now this is, by the look of it, real wood. Looks pretty cool, doesn't it? There you go. It's just got adhesive on the back, so I can still weather this up afterwards. And I can put this into place, matching up all the holes just on this transom. So that Looks 100 times better. And it's not going to need much weathering at all. Now, once that's in place, this is, as I said, just one of the mods from Mike Lane. There is another mod which I'm going to show you shortly. You can take your letters that you've got here and put these back in. I don't know what way round the O goes. I know I got that round the wrong way the first time I tried to put that in. And you can put the drain back in. And that'll give you an idea of how it looks. Now, what happens if you don't want to weather these letters up? If you want to like have them weathered, but you haven't really got the skills or the time to do your own, Mike Lane's got a solution for that too. And that is the rusted letters, which look like that. Now, while I open these up, get these out, it is worth noting that in the film Jaws, did you know that these letters, even though they're metal here, they were actually made out of wood and they were painted to look like metal. I got told that by Marty Milner while I was in Martha's Vineyard. And the reason being is it was just so expensive to get cut metal back when they were filming Jaws. So they needed something like 18 sets of the letters. So what they did is they made them all out of wood and painted them all metal. There you go. There's an interesting fact. But these are the rusted letters. So that's my one that I painted, but these, look, they're a lot more uniform. They look a lot better. So what I'm going to do is put these into place on the model. Now, these will be glued in. So I'm just going to put them on as a dry fit so you can see how these look. Make sure you put the O in the right way round. You'll know that because the top of the O should be in line with the rest of the letters. But there you go. That is how that looks. Now, at different moments of the film, these look different. So sometimes they're really clean, sometimes they're really rusty like this. If I just take the C out here and replace it with the one that I done, I don't know which one I prefer. Don't know. I think I am going to go with Mike Lane's one, to be honest with you. So I will get those glued in. And once again, if I just put this little drain in, it's going to give you an idea of how that looks. So that's two of the mods from Mike Lane there, and they are pretty impressive. What do you think of those? Okay, the last mod that Mike's got at the moment is something that I've already done on my build. Now, if you remember, on the flying bridge here, if we just turn this upside down, I had already made this light here. Now, this light is pretty similar to how it was in the film. The only difference is that this cable here, even though I got this really narrow, it's smooth. Mike's got a fix for that. Basically, it's the whole lampshade kit that you can actually change this around. If I just show you this, what we've got in here, get it all out, is we've got this part of the cable, which I'm going to explain where that goes in a second. And then we've got a replacement light, which would go into the top, which has got this sort of like twisted braided system on here. So that will go into the lamp. And then we've got the little top, which actually goes on the lamp. So basically this section just here, this white section, it would replace that with this section just here. Pretty cool, huh? Now the way this goes in, exactly like the wire that we had before, this will actually go through the holes and then we'd attach it with the JST plug connector, which is just there. Now I'm going to keep my lamp exactly as I've got it because I'm pretty happy with how mine looks, but I am going to use this extra part, and the reason for that is because if I bring over this interior cabin here, what happens is the light, once it comes off the roof, it sort of goes, hopefully one of the cameras will pick it up, down behind the seats here, in front of the window to the lamp. So it's actually going to be on a wire kind of like that. So I am going to use this to put this in place. What I'll have to do for that, if I just bring that over here, is that knowing where this is going to be going, is I'd have this cable actually coming out of the same spot where this is coming. I'd glue that into place there. Got to let gravity do its thing. And then I'll trace this down by the window. Just giving you an idea of how that's going to look. And then it's going to look like this is hooked up, because this was actually just put up with hooks to keep that cable into place. But you get the idea how that is. So that's 3 of the mods from Mike Lane. Now, all of these mods are available through that QR code that you can see down the bottom. So let's put those to one side. And now the next company is from Partwork Upgrades. Now they've got a couple of mods. This is quite a fun one, this is. Obviously, let's get these out. We do have some pans here, which again can go inside the cabin section. Perhaps they can go on the stove, which look just like this. These are absolutely brilliant. Very tiny as well. Again, these are from Partwork Upgrades, but this is fun. We got chum barrels. Now, we do get chum barrels on the build. Nothing like this, though. These, as you can see, are full up with real fish. There's real dried fish in here, which have then been encased in resin. We've got 2 of these, and they look pretty cool. When they go on the deck, if I can just show you this when I bring this over, I believe in the film they actually go sort of like at the back here. So you can have them lined up just like that. Or if you want Brody spreading the chum, we can have that just there. But these are the chum barrels from Partwork Upgrades. Now, Partwork Upgrades are also working on a scaled Bruce that will actually go, it's sort of like just the head section into the water over here. So that I've got on the screen here if you had to have a look at. Once again, the links for that are just on the bottom there in the QR code to the Partwork Upgrade sites if you are interested in that. And it is brilliant to see not just people's weathering of how they're getting on with the Orca, but also what mods are out there for this build. But what do you think of that? And there you go. I really hope you liked that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Other than that, take care.